A while back I made a video showing you guys how to replicate a skull using paper mache. I also told you in that video that I would show you how to take one of these and make something cool with it. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to show you how to take this and make a cool zombie head out of it.
What you want?
So to do this little build, of course you're going to need your skull blank. You're going to need some paper towels. You're going to need paper mache paste. I've just got a simple mixture of water and wood glue for this one. You're going to need some kind of teeth. I happen to have some that I've made myself out of paper mache, making it from nothing. But if you've got some cool, you can buy some dental teeth online that are realistic that you can use. Some of them pretty cheap. You can get those and it'll make it look even better. You're going to need some cotton balls for some extra texturing, and you're going to need some eyeballs. You can learn how to make these yourself. I made a video I posted just about a week or two ago. I'll put a link in the description and learn how to make them on your own. But well, you're going to need some hot glue and maybe a few other things, but as we go and we put this thing together, you'll see what you need. Now, one of the first things I'm going to do is put some skin on the bottom side of this jaw. That'll get us something to play with later on. We're going to take care of this first. We'll use our paper towels. Alright, so we've cut this first just outer layer, or where these teeth would have set in on the original skull. We cut that out, and now we're going to attach a few of our teeth that we got made, and we're going to fill in this area with hot glue to make it a little more stable, and then do our gum line around that. Trim the bottom side of the jaw here, stuck in a few teeth. Now we're just going to hot glue the bottom side of the jaw to the skull. We got that mounted in place. We'll set our eyes in place, and then we'll start doing detail, fill the gums in, and start skinning the thing, creating some. We'll do some tears, some gashes. We'll put some, lips and things on it. Possibly some ears. I don't know if I'll do ears in this one or not. So we got our jaw set in place. Next thing we're going to do is set our eyes. First thing we need to do is cut these toothpicks out of here and get these set into the sockets and set it in place. Alright, we got these things trimmed down. However, we'll get this a little bit closer to you guys. They're not quite fitting in the socket. If you see from the side profile, that eye is really sticking out there. The eye doesn't stick that far out, so we're going to go in here. I'm going to cut this away right here. I'm going to cut this away here. We're going to give this some relief so we can recess this eye back down in and get it where it needs to be. Alright, so I took a little too much out. I got some breakage in here. The good thing about mache, we can fix all this, so we're not going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead, this one's glued in, we're going to glue in the other one here, set these in place, and we'll just work around what we've got. They're not perfectly straight. It's going to work for me. You guys spend a little more time straightening these things out. It always looks much better when the eyes are straight, but by the time we put some eyelids on here, get some other things going on, it's not going to look too bad. He's going to have kind of crazy look to him, but it'll pass. Now I'm going to work on setting in a bit of a gum line. Taking some of this cotton ball, we're going to dip it into our mache paste, lay it in, wrap it around the gums, maybe come back over, with some more in between the teeth here. Do the same thing on the top. That'll give us a decent little gum line, and then we can come on with lips and other things over the top of this. There we go, we're getting a decent gum line in. Now we're just going to repeat the same process for the top side. Here we go, we got our gum line started on top. We got a decent little gum line on the bottom. I think I'm going to put some strands of cotton between the jaw and the upper part of the skull here and make some, basically it's like some muscle tissue. I'm going to put those in place. We're going to cover some of them. I want them there just in case I want to leave some skin ripped and open. That way we've got some kind of muscle tissue showing underneath. I may wind up covering it all up, but at least I've got it there if I want to expose it. I pulled some bigger strips of cotton through here, and I pulled this cotton here and tore it down for flesh, and you can kind of see down in there, if I get the angle, some of the little tendons we put in before. I'll show you on this side how we did this side. Just took and soaked that cotton ball straight into the paper mache paste. We'll apply it up here to the skull. Put a thumb on it and then just stretch it straight on down and pull it around this jaw. Just like that. Now before I go any further, this is all pretty wet. I'm going to go ahead and let this stuff dry. Let it dry up overnight, and we'll come in, build up everything around the eyes, over the nose, and around the rest of the head. We'll get some more cuts and things like this, and some torn flesh, and some different spots. So we got some kind of gruesomeness going on. But for right now, we're going to let this dry up before we add any more to it. So this thing sat out all night long, and it's dried up. It's pretty stiff. It doesn't look too bad. But now that I've thought about it a little bit more, I'm going to change directions just a little bit on this. I'm going to build the cheekbones out a little bit further on each side. We're going to build the nose out some, put a ridge in here. And we may wind up, and I'm thinking what I may change, I may go in here and fill these in where you cannot see through. Those are kind of the changes I think I'm going to make. But anyway, we'll see what happens. We're going to start building up our cheekbones, getting that going on. We'll put some ears. We'll start some ears on this thing and start working around the eyes and start giving this thing some expression. Alright, so I'm going to continue on over the head, just using this cotton ball all tore up and putting it on sporadically like that. You know, we built up our cheek features, we built up around the nose here, made it more pronounced and in depth. We gave a little more expression on the eyes. This is a bit too wet to really add anything to it. If we do, we'll start really smashing things around. We'll change the structure that's there. So we need to let this dry, and if we need to make this a little more expressive and build it out anymore, we can do that once it's dry. Same way with the ears. I'm going to leave the ears alone for now. Basically all I did was make a big C and put it in the spot. When this dries, it's going to shrink up quite a bit. So we'll come back over these again with some more after it dries up, and then we're going to put a smaller C on the inside to create the detail inside the ear. But what we want to do is I'm just going to continue on all around the skull, just kind of laying the cotton haphazardly everywhere. It'll make areas like this. It'll make wound areas. Some of these wound areas that are bigger, once this dries and shrinks, we'll accentuate the wound area so we can go back in and make those look nastier and bigger, more pronounced by the time it's all done. So yeah, we'll just continue to cover this, and then we're going to set it up and let it dry for 24 hours before we move on. Alright, so now we got this thing completely covered all the way around. So now we're just going to let it dry once again for 24 hours. We're going to come back, add some more detail to it, probably finish out these ears, maybe add a little more to the expression, maybe even some eyelids, and we should pretty well be done and ready for paint. Alright, so this thing is set up one more time, completely dried out. So I'm just going to continue to layer this thing up with cotton and Mache paste. We can make these areas here that are going to be a wound area a little more pronounced. Possibly put in some eyelids too. I'm kind of debating that. So, whenever I do the eyelids, just in case this is in fast motion when I do it, I'm going to take a piece of paper towel like this and I'm going to saturate the whole thing. And then once I've got the whole thing saturated in paste, I'm just going to fold it over and leave a lip like this. That way when I push this in here and push it around, it leaves a natural, you can kind of see that, it leaves a natural lip right here that would make an eyelid. So very easy to do. Just debate that when I get there. We may do something like that along the bottom and do something like that along the top. Give it a more realistic look. We'll see. I'm going to add another section to this C right here for the ears. Build this up a little bit, and I'm going to put a smaller one on the inside here and do the same thing on the other side. Now this part of the process really is just layering cotton and paper mache paste over and over again until you get the desired shape and look and basic overall structure that you're looking for. So you can just continue this on until you're really happy with the outcome and the look of the skin. Now in this, like we started off before, I just made a C for the ear, and then I went back over the top of that to bulk it out, make it bigger, and then I put another little C type shape on the inside. Do the same thing out here. Once this dries up, I'm going to go in here and I'll take some cotton and press down in and kind of fill these in and kind of make it more of a smooth, natural shape, so it doesn't just look like there's just a glob inside another glob. people will come in here with some cotton and mold it all together and make it look like one uniform piece. We'll let that set up and dry. We'll tackle those areas later. I decided I am going to go ahead and we'll put some eyelids on. So we'll put some eyelids in here on both the eyes. We've got some wound areas that we left out. These should stand out pretty good once this thing dries out, and we'll paint those accordingly. But this is really the process. It's just layer after layer of cotton and mache. Most people do it with latex, and it probably works a lot better with latex. I've never done it. My thing is paper mache, so just showing you guys how you can make something like this. You don't have to have the latex, and you can still get a pretty cool end result with just paper, glue, and mache paste. So he's set up and dried. Everything's looking good. The only thing we're going to do to finish this part up before we get to painting, we're going to add, put some eyelids in here, and then we're going to put some cotton in here just to make the ear flow a little bit better on each side, and we're going to call it good. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to be taking some paper towel like this, tearing off a section. We're going to dip it in mache paste, and then I'm just going to fold it over to create that eyelid ridge, and then just put it into place and blend it all in. So that right there is a pretty quick and easy way to create some realistic eyelids. And you can use that on any prop you're doing. Now we're just going to put some cotton. We're just going to put some cotton in here and pull it over and smash it down. That way it's just a uniform texture through there, so it's not quite such a gaping hole in there. And I'm just going to use little bits of cotton inside there to get that done. So the head's all finished up. We'll see you in the next video where we do all the final seal and paint on this thing. If you guys like this video and you learned something, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, share it to all your friends, and all I can ask for you guys to do is just watch. If you like the content I put out, watch it. It helps me out a lot. See you guys next time.